Hello everyone and welcome back to Wicked Art. It's Wicked here and it's Fun Draw Friday, and I put up a poll for what you guys wanted to see me draw, and it was a tie again. Y'all gotta stop with the tie. Somebody's gotta break it one of these days. So it was a tie between draw whatever you want, Rock Lee or Spider-Man. So I figured, hey, why don't we just do what I want, and the fact that we'll draw Rock Lee versus Spider-Man. So like they having a nice little sparring match. Okay, so we're going to start with Rock Lee here. And we're going to draw him doing a kick towards Spider-Man. A little reverse hook kick, spinning hook kick. So let's try to get his shoe or boot going the right way. I'm going to kind of draw him in perspective a little bit. So we're going to start with the shoe here. And then we're going to see like parts of the body and the leg. So we have to set this up carefully. Because the way that the leg and the body are going to be facing, you have to get the right bends, and I want to make sure that I work in his clothing detail as well. So like this will kind of be like the calf a little bit, and then he has those like orange sock looking things, so draw that kneecap kind of coming off the top here. Okay, and then I can come back down into this area, kind of draw his bottom right there. And let's bring that sock out just a little bit more. And we can bring that down into the leg. So that's his leg being turned up. Let's go ahead and, because I'll forget about it if I don't do it now, we're going to draw the edge line of the boot. So if we just kind of go around like this and give it an edge. And we'll come back to the rest of it later. Okay, so since we have this part that's split down to the middle, we want to kind of come in right in here. And then we want to kind of come out with the leg. I'm going to kind of split that because he has that same, like Naruto has, that white tape kind of wrapped around the legs. So let's do the tape. So we want to try to make it look like it's wrapping. Wrapping around the thigh, so you want to kind of come out a little bit farther than the rest of it. Okay, we'll do another smaller piece. And that'll kind of look like it's wrapped. And then we have, of course, the black band or strap. Goes around the middle of it. And then we have another set of white lines in there. Do one more tiny strap right here. And then we can kind of make the cloth look like it has the bend in it as we come down to the leg. Or I should say like the shin part of the leg. So since we're doing a perspective, it's going to be a little bit smaller than the rest of the body. We'll run that down to his other sock. Okay. Now again, I got it. It may not look like much now, but trust me, it is going somewhere. Okay, so I'm going to build out the other one. And I'm just going ahead and drawing it this way. Then instead of using the construction lines, it'll just be faster that way. But you could set this up by shapes first if you wanted to. But it's just going to be easier for me if I just go through. Okay. So like little things we could do, we can go ahead and get that foot drawn in here. And again, since we're further down line here, we can draw it back and be a little bit smaller. So we kind of get his toes in here. And then we can put the edge line on the sandal or shoe boot thing here, and we can give it a little wrap over strap right in there like that. Okay, so we have the legs done. Now we got to start working on the upper torso. And the head. Okay, so I'm going to start with the head as a good middle point. So we're going to kind of come out. Now Rock Lee doesn't have like a traditional detailed head. So he has a very basic, almost roundness to his head. Right? And what I can do is, now that I have that in there as a reference, I can come off at the neck a little bit. Draw that down into the knee. You'll see a little bit of that turtleneck looking thing that he wears with his ninja outfit. Okay, so we're going to start building the arms out by coming out with his chest into his arms. So let's make our knee come out a little bit farther. Which that in turn extends out our little sock thing. But we have like a real huge bend. So we have our knee. Our body comes back, so we're gonna have to adjust the body. Because what I'm trying to do is keep it, where it's actually going to end up in the picture. So if my body comes this way and it's bent, then it's going to come out probably right about here. So we'll do the arms. We'll do the arms first. It'll probably be easiest that way. Because the other thing you have to remember too is the distance and like how close he actually is. So like our knee here, come over, our sock out a little bit more. Okay, and then we want to kind of have him in a pose that's gonna, balance his weight out. As that kind of comes down, we can bring the fingers out, make them a little bit more dynamic. And we can put kind of a spread. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4 fingers. And we can kind of hide the thumb on the bottom down in there. Turn the hand back, like that. And then we got to bring the forearm out. So let's bring that this way more. And we want to kind of keep that arm shape up into the shoulder. Let's bring that a little closer. I still want to keep like a fold in there. The rest of that will curve over to the head. Now since we're down here, let's go ahead and we'll wrap off the fingers. Okay, we'll come down here into this area. A little farther. And we'll put the wraps in. That go around his forearms. Let's do like an angle here. Come back across, we'll do another angle. Straight across that way like that. And then all you have to do is just kind of come in and put little lines on the fingers. And that'll fix his wrap on the finger there. Let's see, we want to bring this head in. Just got to make sure it's big enough that it fits with the body. So, do want that little bit of the neck right there. Let's do, he kind of likes to do those little Bruce Lee open mouth poses with his kicks. Personally, I think that's what his character is supposed to be. Then we can kind of just put in lines for his nose. We can build out his eyes. Now he has very rounded eyes compared to everybody else. So before I color that in, I want to do both just to make sure. So we're going to put those abnormally thick eyebrows on his head. Excuse me. Okay, so let's start drawing in some hair here. He has that nice bowl cut going. Up. I'm going to do like a little split action here. Take it down this way. And then as we go back, kind of capture the motion of the hair. So let's do, put in another like part of the eyebrow right here, which will let us know where that second eye is going to be at. Okay, so I can bring out the hair a little bit more. Kind of have that kind of go up. Let's kind of round it out this way. Looking at the hair, I think we want want to kind of turn it this way. Extend it out just a little bit more. That way it looks closer to that, right there. Okay. And the second thing we're going to do is we're going to draw his arm coming across. Now in martial arts, they like to set their hands up for the block, so they're not just kicking. They're also prepared to counter an attack that's coming in. And we're going to roll this way. Come out with the finger. Just kind of have him high blocking. Make sure it's kind of even here. And as we go out, we get the other one. Like that, and that'll go down this way. And we can kind of have a turn to it. Have that come back. And then the pinky come down that way. And right off the pinky, we can close off the hand. And the fingers. Okay, so we can just take it down from the wrist into the forearm. Now let's bring the bicep back. Have an extra fold in here. And go into a high shoulder. Okay, so we'll take that down right here. And then let's see, my body's going this way with a turn. I'm going to come out this way with our arm. And we want this to come out to our forearm. We can extend that down a little bit more. Okay, so we have a nice dynamic pose. We can block off with the wrap right there, and then we'll know where to go with the details from there. Okay, so now we can start putting in some wraps on the fingers. As well as inside the hand. Okay, so now we have that set up. We can put some detail. It's got black eyes, so I'm just going to color those in black. Same thing with his eyebrow. And then what I want to do is we want to get those the way he's drawn. They kind of do with his black hair, just so it's not like completely black. I put in some white reflections over the top of his hair. And if you ever really like look at them, they kind of use almost like bubble letters, like N's and M's. It's kind of funny when you sit there and study and break them down. So I can come in here and start coloring in his hair. And you can just, fill that in, as solid as you can. If you're using like colored pencils or whatever, like you want to color it afterwards, then you can just wait and do this part when the drawing's all done. We're just going to fill that in black. And just go around those white areas, trying to fill it in as solid as I can. Now, the likelihood of these two ever meeting up and fighting is probably slim to none, but like I said, y'all said draw whatever, so I decided to just combine everything. Let's see what that looks like. Okay, now I'm going to go around and start refining. A lot of my line work, because we got to get some of the detail in the character, like with the line work and the little socks wrap things that he's got going around his legs. So we're just going to solidify our line work in here. I'll go around this edge, and then you're going to see what I'm going to do with the bottom of the sandal. We're going to come in here and we're going to put some ridge lines. Just to give it that little bit of a texture on the bottom of the shoe. Okay, so we have that like that. And then I can come in here and we can draw those lines that are on his socks. Again, the outside little leg wraps or whatever you want to call them. So you can kind of see that there now. And then we can come back down to this area. Go ahead and refine that. And put those lines down in there. I'm just going to go ahead and, before I move on to Spider-Man, just refine all the line work on the feet. And go up through the rest of the picture. And just refine those lines as well. So now he's standing out a little bit more. So we'll do the same thing on the rest of the body. And this will just save us time going back at the end and doing all this. That way your image will stand out a little bit more, look a little cleaner. Okay, and then let's just do this last line right here under the neck. Okay, so that's going to take care of our Rock Lee. Now we need to draw in our Spider-Man. Okay, so we kind of want him looking like he's swinging in. So I'm just going to start with the head. And we're going to build out the body. So I'm going to try to just build different pieces. Spider-Man's a little bit easier as far as just being able to work in structural shapes for the body. Let's see, let's try to work in a calf here. And then we can kind of come underneath. So we want that thickness. To be there. Just kind of build up the shapes for now. Let's see, we can get that down. And then we really want to stretch the other leg out to bring it up more. So I'm going to kind of try to make it look like good old Rock Lee here caught him off guard. So I'm just going to work the foot back. Probably need to bring that up some more. Let's see, so that thigh comes back. Let's make an adjustment right here. And we want to have the body to have a little bit of a twist to it. So I'm going to turn it that way. Like that bicep right there. And before I forget, let's go ahead and build out the shoulder. that down to make the bicep end here. So let's kind of curve that back. And then like right here where that bends in, we can have the forearm come out. And we can have a little bit of elbow right there. Try not to. I think we might have to pull that back a little bit. As that comes down, we should have a little elbow. Then we can come out with our forearm. And bring in a thumb. Come out with the finger. Put kind of a bend in it. With the fingers back here. And have that come down. And let's do a couple other fingers in here. And we'll come back down to this arm. Slight bend. Down to the forearm. We'll have the other one build out that way. Bend down to the hand. Let's see. Probably need to work out a thumb here. Not sure I'm getting these forearms long enough. Just looks weird. Let me come down this way more. And bring the hand out this way. Bring the thumb this way. More like that. Okay, so if we look at that, so let's come in here before we start putting details in. I'm going to draw a web just to make it look like he's swinging from it. And have that go off. To the distance there. Did not mean to run in. So we have that in place. We can give it a little bit more detail, just to seem like it's being held in his hand. So let's finish taking this one up. And then those little lines in between we can erase so they just kind of pass in front and look like they're going the direction they're supposed to. Okay, so now we're going to do OG Spider-Man. So I'm just going to put that simple spider webbing pattern on there. So we just run a line down each part of the legs. Just have that run down that way. And come back out. And you just want to kind of put like these little curves that wrap around. But you want to space them out enough so that you're not putting like excuse me, 5 million webbing lines on your image. Okay, so that takes care of one foot. Let's come in here. And we'll refine those lines. Clean up around it just a little bit. So again, we're just going to kind of run a line down. Have that go back. And start putting in our webbing on the leg there. Now it can be tricky with the webbing just from the standpoint that if you dip or curve too much, you can start looking a little weird. So you got to kind of find that balance in there. Now that we have that, we can refine our leg a little bit. So like I said, we're kind of having him catch old Spidey off guard here. Because even though I know in my heart of hearts that a Spidey would win this battle. And yes, I'm a little biased because I like Spider-Man the best out of everybody. But we can give Rock Lee a surprise chance anyway of, you know, catching him off guard once and giving him his time in the light. So what I just did was I'm piecing out the part of the suit that's got the webbing, and then the parts that don't are separate. So like I want to make sure that that chest comes back. So I can go ahead and refine. Now if I had hours and hours to work on this, there are obviously some anatomy adjustments I would change. But the key thing with this channel is if you're new to it or anything, if you know anything about me, you always want to finish the project. Don't ever just end it because it doesn't look good. So if I know there's things on here that could have been done better, things like that, I don't sit here and stress about it. I work through it. Alright, so I'm going to draw a spider. Just draw the OG spider symbol on his chest. I'm going to go ahead and we'll do the lines on the hands. And then as we work our way down to here, probably going to have to throw in a few more extra lines. Okay, so we have that part down. I'm going to switch over to this one. Give them the same thing, so let's go ahead and refine our line work. Okay. Now I do want to go ahead. I'm going to start with the fingers first just because it's easier. Because he just has circles kind of wrap around. Then you can run those lines. Down the forearm. So make sure you space them out enough. Like the main thing that I would fix, I'd probably make his pose a little bit more dynamic, and definitely probably fix that arm on the far side that's sticking out. But again, it's good to get in the habit of just fixing and learning from your mistakes when you go into your next project. Okay, you don't have to be a perfectionist all the time. It's okay. Why I added that in there, we'll leave that out. So anyway, let's start working his head. Let's see, we'll do the eyes first. And then we can adjust the head based off of our eyes. It's like I know I want this to be more rounded. And then I can just kind of thicken it up. I have my eye in there. So now based off the positioning of everything, and the way I have his head looking, I know I want a tiny bit of a nose shape here. So I'll have that go back. And then once the nose kind of comes back, we want to bring a forehead out. So we can start rounding the head. And bringing that in this way. Let's fix this nose up a little. Let's kind of round it that way. And I can kind of keep like these clavicle lines. And I want to leave that gap right there. Okay, and then I can start working in the webbing on the face. So like starting here, and with the eye, we want to start with that little circle in the middle. Just kind of have it go back from there. And the same thing with the mask. We want to keep the spacing as such so that we don't overdo. And believe me, kills me anytime that I don't do well on a Spider-Man drawing, just because he is my favorite to draw. But at the same time, I have to tell myself that even after all these years of drawing, I'm still learning, and there's still things that even I don't get right. So now I can come in here, and for these webs that come down, I'm going to turn them almost like a frowny face. I think I arched that one a little bit too much. And obviously as I head back, those frownies are going to turn into smiley faces. Again, you want to keep them spaced out enough that it's not like overtaking what it is you're trying to do. So use the center of the chest here. Take some line work down. And it's going to be too close, so let's pull that one back. It's like here. Just make sure you kind of refine as you go. Now we want these lines coming down here. And do another set. And come up this way. So that I have those lines in there. We want to start with the frownies for a webbing. And keep some of that chest definition. Take those out. It's like other little things I could do. I could go in here and give it like a comic book shading, you know, to help define like the abs and things like that. But again, just to save time, I'm just going to continue with what we have. Okay, and then we need to kind of do the same on this side. So we got Spider-Man swinging in, about ready to catch a hook. Kick to the face. So now I'm going to go around and do that thing that I do, where I thicken up the lines. Again, if you hung out for this entire video, I appreciate you a lot. And I hope you're actually like learning stuff as we go, learning how to move on from mistakes and not get stuck. If you like what you're seeing, like, comments are really helpful in guiding me on what kind of stuff you guys want to see. So leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. Hey, it's awful. It's whatever. You're not going to hurt my feelings. Because all art is subjective anyway. But yeah, I want you to go down there and let me know. If you like what you're seeing, you want to learn more, subscribe to the channel. And there's a link in the description too to some t-shirt designs and mugs, blankets, hoodies on TeePublic and Redbubble. So just go and look through the catalog. I got some designs that'll help support the channel, but it's not necessary. So if you're interested, that's another option. Other than that, I just really want to hear from y'all. Y'all can share work with me on Twitter if you followed along with the video. I'd love to see how you guys did. I have my community tab is open, so I've been leaving polls for people to vote on, but for some reason we're only getting like 4 votes at a time. Got 300 of y'all subscribed. I think most of y'all done forgot you even subscribed to my channel. It's okay. I'll take the 3 students that I got, even if it's 1. But I'd really like to know how that one person who's following along is doing. Sharing your artwork or your experience, anything that you would like to see, that's what the comment section's for. And I will respond. I will reply. So if you have something you want to ask or have me do on the channel, use those comments. And I'm just going around. You can see when I pull my hand away here for a minute, you can see how it makes it kind of pop off the page more to thicken up the line. So if you are new to the channel, that's why I'm doing this, is it just makes it stand out more. It is not something that you have to do. This is just a simplistic form of Spider-Man. Like I said, usually if you've seen some of my older videos, I tend to draw them way more dynamic and stuff, but I was really trying to get that look like he was swinging in for the attack. Maybe Rock Lee had stumbled upon his lunch in New York City or something. I accidentally ate some of it. Maybe he got teleported here through a dimension and was freaking out and was kicking people's butts, so he comes in to try to help. Not really thinking before he leaps. Gets caught off guard by good old Rock Lee here. A spinning hook kick to the face. And then Spider-Man proceeds to, kick his rear afterwards. And even, you could think of it this way, like he's swinging in, the spider sense goes off, and he somehow manages to agilely swing out the way. Now, you can see how I'm thickening up the edges and stuff, right? But I don't need to do that. when I get to the hair, right? It's all black, so I don't need to really touch that. And I can leave that alone. But again, you can see how it's kind of sticking it off the page here with adding the thickness. And I'm sorry I don't have the best, what you'd call, radio voice. I'm just more of a chill person. Some days I'll be super duper lively. But you also have to remember too, after drawing this for an hour, I'm not doing like a time-lapsed video. This is all in real time, so I tend to get focused sometimes and my voice just kind of goes monotone a little bit, so I apologize for that. But if you guys don't like these long form but you still want to see me draw and you'd rather see me do like all time lapse with just me kind of talking over, kind of like what some other famous YouTubers do, more the ones that you've probably seen before. I mean, I can do that if you want. I just figured a lot of people, if you're anything like me, I was always tired of not getting step-by-step tutorials on how to draw things. But anyway, that's going to do it for a Fun Draw Friday. I hope you had fun. I hope you stuck around. Love to see your work. Remember, like, share, subscribe. If you like what you saw, leave a comment. Let me know how you're doing, how things are going. Till next time, keep sketching. And I'll see you in the next video, alright? Bye.